Namaste. We're going to continue on with the I AM Discourses, and that last discourse, I hope you enjoyed it. Mind-blowing, and makes perfect sense, makes complete sense when you do the research, as I have done for many, many years. Okay, we're going to continue on with Discourse 20. Discourse 20, December the 8th, 1932. Saint Germain. Invocation. Thou mighty, invincible, I am presence, speak thyself into the hearts of the children of men. Fill their hearts and minds to overflowing with the magnificence of thy presence, with the conscious strength to look to thee and know thee as one, the one, the mighty eternal source of all things, by which the consciousness of mankind is sustained. Make them to know thy great ownership, that it is thee alone who art the owner and giver of all things, that they must make and they must manifest unselfishly to one another. We thank thee. I bring you greetings from the great host who are ever pouring their radiant presence into your lives. The Discourse. It is with great rejoicing that the many who have been observant of this accomplishment see how truly the students are entering into the mighty I Am presence, and how the things that have been disturbing are being dissolved and are dropping away as though they had never been. Beloved students, can you realize how great our rejoicing is? We have trod the pathway of attainment into the great freedom of mastery over all limitation. We rejoice to see you entering into this presence, which, if maintained, will bring you certainty and surely to this same freedom. It is only when the outer becomes sufficiently obedient, giving all power to the great inner presence, that one finds peace and rest in this mighty acknowledgement. In that peace and rest flows a mighty river of energy, like a mountain stream flowing through a fertile valley, lined with flowers and perfect vegetation. So, in the peace that passeth understanding, do you move more and more, finding that eternal river of energy flowing into and through your being, spreading its blessing and opulence into your life and experience everywhere you go. While it is true the intelligence is the channel through which you must receive, yet as you feel, with deep sincerity, the truth of the I Am presence, you will find the stillness becoming greater and greater, until one day thou shalt see the door of thy creation open wide before thee, and thou shalt step forth with wide open arms into the freedom, inhaling the fragrance of the pure atmosphere of the etheric world, wherein thou wilt be able to mould that plastic substance into the perfection of everything upon which thy desire is held. The etheric world is, of course, the fifth density, what people call 5D. You are making such splendid progress. Do not let any fear of persons, places, conditions, or things interrupt or disturb you, for the presence of the light stands before you, beckoning you on, that you may be held in its fond embrace, receiving of its boundless riches of every description which it holds in store for you. I shall now say something which may seem astonishing, but I assure you it is very true. Last night, as the question was asked, had you all been together before? I wish to say that it would not have been possible for you to have been drawn into this intensified action of the great inner law if you had not previously had harmonious association and training. While it may be difficult at first for you to comprehend it, you are receiving intensified training which heretofore has only been given after a 3-year probation in the retreats. Some of you had stored up treasures of energy. I mean by that, energy created by your conscious activity through your I Am presence. Others have stored up treasures of light. Again, others have treasures of love. Others have gold and jewels which were placed in keeping to be used in this embodiment. Now think about this. What is this saying? Several of you are on the point of realizing and releasing into visibility, into your hands, these stored up treasures. Do not think I have gone into fancy daydreaming, but I am calling this into your attention for your benefit and blessing. I wish each one of you to go by yourselves sometime during the day for at least 5 minutes and talk to your I am presence, something like this. Great masterful presence, which I am. I love, I adore thee. I give back unto thee the fullness of all creative power, all love, all wisdom, and through this power which thou art, I give thee full power to make visible in my hands and use the fulfillment of my every desire. I no longer claim any power as my own, for I now claim thee, the only and all-conquering presence in my home, my life, and my world, and my experience. I acknowledge thy full supremacy and command of all things, and as my consciousness is fixed upon my achievements, your invincible presence and intelligence takes command and brings the fulfillment into my experience quickly, even with the speed of thought. And don't forget, as we discussed, the speed of thought is instantaneous, way, way faster than the speed of light. To continue, I know that thou art ruler over time, place, and space. Therefore, thou requirest only now to bring into the visible activity thy every perfection. I stand absolutely firm in the full acceptance of this now and forever, and I shall not allow my mind to waver from it, for at last I know we are one. Beloved students, you may add or weave into this anything else which for your requirements, and I assure you, if you can live in this, and I shall endeavour to help you to do so, you will experience the opening of the floodgates of God's abundance. I think here that I should explain to you the most important, the most desirable thing that anyone can do is to fix within his or her mind the one permanent necessity, and that is to keep at it until one reaches so deeply and firmly into this mighty I am presence that all love, light, good, and riches flow into this life and experience by an inner propelling power that naught of outer personalities may at any time, anywhere, ever interfere with. This is the object of true training. This is why students were brought into the retreats as they could be found ready or sufficient, progressed, because as I have said before, it is easy enough to solve your problems as they come along. But I ask you, what good does it do to continue to solve problems unless you have something, somewhere, to which you can anchor that raises you above the consideration of any problem? To find your I am presence and anchor it is the only desirable thing to do until you come to this point of firm anchoring and anchorage to that great I am presence. Of course, it is necessary to solve your problems as they come along, but how much better is it to enter in and set free that mighty presence, energy, and action which has already solved the problems before they appear to you? Is this not more acceptable than to awaken every morning and find these problems coming up, staring you in the face, as though they were something really important, which, after all, are not? Yet I am sure you will agree with me that some of them, or at least your outer sense about them, is that they are tremendously ponderous. With your glorious obedience to the divine principle of created beings, you shall move along the pathway with your armour of invincible protection buckled on, until the intensity of the very light that you enter into will no longer require the armour. Is this not worth all the effort it takes to accomplish it, that you may eat ever more in this glorious freedom? Then, when you awake in the morning, you will no longer find these visitors appear. As I have spoken these words, I have held you, each one, in the searchlight of my vision, even without your permission, so that when you hear these words, you will feel the inner conviction of them with a strength which will delight you. When critical or disturbing thoughts try to entrance try to entrance and command them to be gone forever. Do not give them a chance nor time to gain a foothold, remembering always that you have the strength and the sustaining power of the mighty I Am Presence to do this. Should you have any difficulty in holding the door shut, talk to your I Am Presence and say, "See here, I need help. See that the door to this disturbance is closed, and keep closed forever. I want you to get fixed in your consciousness that you can talk to your I Am Presence the same as you can talk to me, believing that I had limitless power, because I tell you, it is no idle comment when I say, you can cause this mighty presence to handle every condition in your entire experience and raise you into its freedom and dominion of all things. As some of you have already reached into the activity of the universal substance, I want to call the attention of all of you to the fact that the substance of your bodies, and this substance seeming to be invisible about you, is immensely sensitive to your conscious thought and feeling, by which you can mold it into any form you wish. The substance of your body can, by your consciousness and conscious thought and feeling, be molded into the most exquisite beauty form. Your eyes, hair, teeth and skin made dazzling with radiant beauty. This should be very encouraging to the ladies. I am sure will be to the gentlemen, only they do not like to admit it. Beloved brothers and sisters, when you look into the mirror, say to that which you see there, through the intelligence and beauty which I am, I command you to take on perfect beauty of form. For I am that beauty in every cell which you are composed. You shall respond to my command and become radiantly beautiful in every way, in thought, word, feeling and form. I am the fire and beauty of your eyes, and I carry forth this radiant energy into everything into which I look. Thus you can cause to come into appearance the perfection which will give you all the encouragement you want to know that you are the all encouragement you want. I am always the governing presence. I wish to say to you who desire your forms to become more symmetrical, start your hand at the shoulders and bring them down over your body to the feet, feeling the perfection or symmetry of the form you wish. Through your hands will go the energy or quality which you desire to manifest. If you will try this with deep, earnest feeling, you will be amazed at the results. This is the great reducer in the world. This, I assure you, will cause the flesh, as it comes into more beautiful symmetry and perfection, to become firm and yet subtle in every way, because you are sending the energy of the I Am Presence through these cells, causing them to obey your command. This may sound ridiculous, but I tell you, it is one of the best, surest and most perfect ways to bring about perfection of the body. I tell you, anyone who will practice this will bring the body into any condition that one desires. I want the students to get the fullness of the idea, as they are the masters of their forms, their minds and their worlds, and can inject into them whatsoever they wish. The pure and perfect life of God is flowing through you every instant. Why not switch off the old design and switch on the new? Do you not see how important this is to perfect the body? What can the inner presence do with a body that is sick or out of harmony all the time? This is one for me. When this is the case, the attention becomes so fixed upon the body that the I Am Presence cannot get the attention but a little part of the time. It is so easy if you will but do it. With the statement of the flesh, with the energy of the I Am Presence, it becomes firm and perfect. The reason I speak of this with such deep, earnest feeling today is because I see the change and improvement in almost everyone. And by special conscious attention directed to this, how much more quickly will each one be brought into the perfection which he or she desires. When an individual has an abnormal abdomen, and anything that is more than straight is abnormal, he or she should raise the left hand to this position, palm up, and move the right hand in a rotary motion over the abdomen, moving from left to right. Each time the hands pass over it, feel deeply the absorbing activity. And that's a good place to stop.